What's going on, everybody? This is Nick at Tiny Track Cars, and we're here in my Diecast room. We have 9 cars that we're here as alternates for our Hot Tamale tournament on Candy Mountain. Yes, Candy Mountain. Back when Candy Mountain sat right here years ago. These cars had been here, and I promised these drivers they would get some time on the track, and now is the time. All right, everybody, we have this custom wall of cars, and right here in this red square, we have our 9 cars competing in this mini tournament here. Like I said, we have 3 groups of 3, and each group will have 1 car moving on. We'll have 3 car finals, and then the winner will go right here. Let's meet Group 1. First, in a Jaguar XESV Project 8, we have Dad Bod Racing. And then driving the number 3 Camaro, we have Cooter. And then number 48 in the Audi TT, we have none other than Bay City Daryl. Let's head to the track for race number 1. The Audi takes the outside for race number 1. The Jaguar gets the inside, followed by number 3 Camaro, who will come out in front in race number 1. The Jaguar is out front, but Daryl battling back as they go down that swoop-de-doop to the end of that jump. They're over the jump, and Daryl's out front. The Jaguar and the Camaro are battling in the back. That's Dad Bod and Coots, who will cross the finish line. Rough into the corners, Daryl, and Daryl crosses the finish line in first place, followed by Dad Bod and Cooter in third. We'll slow it down for you and watch that replay really quick across the finish line. Dad Bod 1 car length behind Bay City Daryl in that Audi TT. Daryl takes 3 points in race number 1. Dad Bod 2 points. Cooter 1 point. And folks, these drivers will run 6 laps down this track. They will rotate positions clockwise each time, and at the halfway point, we do scramble the order so they're not behind the same car every single time. Bay City Daryl out front with a commanding lead again. Down the Humpty Dumpty and over the jump he goes. Cooter catching up, but does not have enough. Bay City Daryl comes down and crosses the finish line in first place and takes the win. And trickling in is Dad Bod in that Jaguar, coming in third place and taking 1 point. Dad Bod with 3 points, Cooter with 3 points, and Bay City Daryl putting 6 points up on the board and starting to walk away from this one, folks. Race number 3, they're at the line. Bay City Daryl starts in the back. You know he is fast. He's proven it in the first 2 races. We'll see what he can do here in race number 3. Down the dip they go and over the jump, and Daryl jumps completely over the other 2, landing and taking off down the track. It looks like Bay City Daryl will walk away with this one, folks. And folks, I've never seen a move like that in Diecast history. Diecast racing history has just been exploded. That is absolutely amazing, folks. Watch this again in slow motion, and then we're going to slow it down for you again in even slower motion to take a look at this, because this actually blew my mind. Daryl just pulled a Paul Walker from Fast and the Furious, jumping over the bridge, over a car, and winning the race. This is absolutely insane, folks. I want you in the comments, let's give that a name. What's it called? The Bay City what? That Daryl is high flying, and he just did something remarkable. We have to name that move. Let me know in the comments what you think that should be. All right, they are into 9 points for Daryl. He's walking away with this one. The battle is for second, but second place does not get you moving on to the finals, which is the next round. This is race number 4 of 6. Dad Bod in the inside lane in that Jaguar. Beautiful orange paint job there. Daryl behind, and Cooter in that Camaro on the far side there now. Daryl almost pulls the same move, tries to take the outside, but gets tied up with Cooter. And Dad Bod will pull away with this one and take 3 points. And I'm not sure Bay City Daryl and Cooter will come out of this one alive. Nope, I do not see them as a DNF. For those 2, they will take 0 points on race number 4, allowing Dad Bod to catch up just 1 point behind Daryl with 2 races to go. Daryl on the outside, Cooter on the inside. That beautiful yellow Camaro, but beautiful does not win races, folks. That Audi TT is just flying here today, and he looks like he will walk away with another one as long as, wow, look at that turn. He rips around that turn, perfect execution, down the dip and across the finish line for 3 more points. And folks, at this point, I'm not sure anyone can catch the Bay City Daryl I believe he will be moving on to the next round, but we'll see what happens in the last race. I'm not good at math, but 8 plus 3 still does not equal 12, even if Dad Bod wins this one and Daryl DNF. So this is going to be a victory lap for Bay City Daryl. He will move on to the finals of this Hot Tamale alternate tournament that never happened. These cars have been waiting for over a year to get track time at Tiny Track Cars, and now is that time. Bay City Daryl showing us again that he's the fastest out of this group and putting 3 more points on the board, and we'll be moving on to the finals. Congratulations, Bay City Daryl. We are back for Group 2 of what we're calling our Lukewarm Tamale Tournament. All right, and you can see on our wall here we have Daryl, Bay City Diecast, moved on Group 1. And Group number 2, in the Audi, we have Cassius Stark racing against Psycho from Mountain High Diecast. And last but not least, Mr. Dark from Dubious Diecast in a 68 Shelby GT500. Let's line them up. All right, race number 1 of 6, folks. They will rotate 1 position clockwise. At the halfway point, they will scramble the orders so they're not behind the same car again in the second half. We have close to us here, we have Cassius Stark in that Audi. He's going down over the jump first. He takes that jump well. He does a barrel roll back onto his wheels and travels down the track in first place. Will anyone be able to catch him? There's a battle between the Charger and the Mustang in the back. The Mustang cuts off the Charger and crosses the finish line sideways. We'll watch that again for you real quick because that was an awesome finish by Mr. Dark. Mr. Dark takes 2 points. Cassius Stark in that Audi wagon takes 3 points. And Psycho in that Charger takes 4 points. They rotate 1 spot clockwise. Close to us here we have the Audi, Charger and the Mustang in the far lane. Charger charging ahead, down into that jump first. Will he be able to land it smooth? He lands it smooth and takes off. Will anyone be able to catch him here in race number 2? The other 2 are battling in the back. Who will take first, second, and third? Charger, Audi, Mustang. 1, 2, and 3 as they cross the finish line. There you have Cassius Stark with 5 points, 4 points for Psycho, and 3 for Mr. Dark. Race number 3, they're out of there. This time we have the Charger close to us. Looks like Mr. Dark hit a little bit of a bump there and slowed him down just slightly. They go down the dip. The Charger and Psycho is over at first. Cassius Stark spins around over the jump, has a hard time. It looks like he is still going. There's a battle for first and second, and Psycho and the Charger takes it and takes 3 points in this race. And folks, there you have it. There you have Cassius Stark in an Audi wagon coming in for third place. And watch that. He clips the side of the track, does a full flip over, spins around backwards, and luckily is able to finish it. Folks, something tells me he will need that point here if he wants to be in contention to move on to the finals with Bay City Daryl. All right, they scramble the order just a little bit so they're not behind the same driver in the second half. The Charger is out front, but the Audi has the inside in this turn. Audi first, but the Charger is side by side. The Charger rolls it over, comes to a stop, and no one is able to get by. We have a 3-way DNF, and unfortunately Mr. Dark is down there on the ground. He did not make it over the jump somehow, folks. I hope there was no damage done to his car and he can move on and continue with his races. We're going to redo that race in the same order we did. Cassius Stark down in the jump first, but Psycho passes him in the air. He spins around backwards. Cassius, that is, in the Audi. Was Mr. Dark able to get by him? We should find out right now. Mr. Dark does not get by him. They both finish in reverse as they cross the finish line. Charger, Audi, Mustang. 1, 2, 3. All right, we got the Charger. It was Psycho with 10 points, leading the pack with Cassius Stark and Audi right behind. We're into race 5, folks. 2 more races. This is a close one. It's still anyone's game as we go into race 5 here. The Mustang is off first. The Mustang clips the landing and messes everybody else up. Luckily, the Charger does not fall off the track, saving his car and potentially his chance for winning. They will rerun this race again. They'll line back up. Down in the dip again they go. Everyone makes it clean, but the Charger lands a little rough and spins over. He's on his hood. Now it's a battle between Cassius Stark and Mr. Dark into the finish line. Mr. Dark wanted to take the inside, but does not get by Cassius, and Cassius will put 3 more points on the board. And going into the last race, we have just a 1-point difference between first and second place. We have Cassius Stark with 11, and Psycho with 10. They're out of there for race number 6. Keep an eye on that Psycho in the Charger and Cassius Stark in that Audi. Those are the two to watch in this battle. One of these two will be moving on here, folks. It looks like Psycho is far out in front. He'll be walking away with this one, but he spins around backwards, giving Cassius an open door to pass him at the finish line. Will he do it? No! Psycho takes the win, and folks, I believe that ties up the score at 13 points. And this round 2 battle will go into overtime. These two will battle. It's the first to win 2 races. They'll alternate lanes every race. Psycho in the far lane, which is the slightly faster lane, we have found out he gets that lane because he got more first place finishes, and he takes that outside lane. And it looks like after a close battle there over the jump, it will pay off for him. That might be the advantage he needs to move on to round 2. Psycho, then Cassius Stark. They will switch lanes and run it again. Psycho out front, 1 win to none. But Cassius Stark in the faster lane. Who will win this battle? As they go around turn 2, down in the dip, they're side by side. Psycho tries to take the inside, but does not get by. And Cassius Stark will run down the track and take the win in race number 2, tying the score to 1-1, but taking out some people with him in the meantime. That was very uncalled for, Cassius Stark. You are going to get bonus points removed from your score. All right, folks, the last race, the winner of this race right here, is the one that will move on to the finals with Bay City Daryl. Psycho on the outside, he has the advantage here, being the first down in the dip and into that turn. Lands it a little bit sideways, spins out, and Cassius Stark is able to pass on the outside, folks. Cassius Stark, as long as he can keep it on the track, he will win, and he will move on, winning 2 out of the 3 races in this tiebreaker match. And folks, that is right. Cassius Stark in the Audi will move on and join Bay City Daryl in the finals. All right, y'all, here's our bracket so far. We have 2 cars that have moved on to the finals round. Today, we have Mrs. Triz driving the Ford Cosworth, and in a Ford GT40, we have Big Al. And last but not least, in the Acura Integra GSR, we have Wally Champ. Let's head to the track. All right, race number 1. Here we go. We Big Al close to us in the close lane, and Mrs. Triz and Wally Champ in that far lane. That Ford GT40 is out in front early. He's down the dip and over the jump it goes. He clips and spins around, but it maintains the first place position. Ford Cosworth coming right behind him, and the Acura Integra bringing up 3rd place. The Integra tries to make a pass in the last turn while going in reverse, but fails to get by Mrs. Triz and takes 3rd place. We got Big Al with 3 points, Mrs. Triz with 2 points, and Wally Champ with 3 points. Race number 2, Mrs. Triz comes to the close lane. Wally Champ and Big Al in the far lane. Big Al in that Integra, or Big Al in that Ford GT40 following the Integra of Wally Champ, putting some pressure on him, taking the inside and passing Wally Champ. Down in the last turn they go, and Big Al in that Ford GT40 takes race number 2. And folks, we didn't see Mrs. Triz there. I feel like I saw her miss the jump and she landed on the ground. That is a rough call for her, but it looks like she's still in good shape and racing. Everyone rotates 1 position clockwise. Remember, after 3 races, after the halfway point, those cars will shuffle, but they continue to rotate in a clockwards motion. Big Al over the big jump, up onto his side, and rolls it onto his lid. Mrs. Triz gets by. Wally Champ on his lid as well. Mrs. Triz, after a DNF falling down off of the track, comes back and wins this race and takes 3 points. It will be a big fat goose egg for the other 2. We got Wally Champ with 3, Big Al with 6, and Mrs. Triz with 5 as they go into race number 4. The order shuffles just a little bit. Wally Champ close to us, Mrs. Triz and Big Al in the far lane. We have a lot of red, white, and black in this race, which is great because that's Tiny Track Cars colors. These cars fit in perfectly with this track. Mrs. Triz holding out Big Al, and she will as she rips around that last turn and comes across the finish line to take 3 more points. She is catching up, folks. Will she have enough to move on to the finals? We shall find out right here. Score is tied at 8, and Wally Champ with 4. Mrs. Triz in the close lane Big Al and Wally Champ in that far lane. Big Al is out front early. It looks like the other two are having some troubles. Big Al over the jump, slightly sideways, but sticks to landing and maintains the first place position. And oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys saw that, but in the background, Mrs. Triz missed the jump again, fell, and her car is in pieces, folks. The track crew will attempt to pick up the pieces and get her back into racing condition for race number 4. We'll check that out the line. It looks like the car is back together and rolling well. No damage other than the car popping apart. Other than that, she is racing, but Big Al is out front, and he is going to be a hard one to beat. Look at that air from Wally Champ. Holy cannoli, that Integra is flying. Where did that come from? If this was a big air contest, Wally Champ would have won hands down. But, folks, in first place, we have Big Al winning that one and taking this group as well. There's a scoreboard confirming Big Al with 14 points, Miss Triz with 9, and Wally Champ with 8. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Tiny Track Cars. This is the finals of the Lukewarm Tamale tournament, and we are throwing out the rulebook completely, and we've done something that you would not have expected. Let's go ahead and check it out. All right, it's the finals, folks, and like I said, we are throwing out the rulebook. Instead of a 3-car final, we're going to bring back the car in the first round who had the most points, and that, folks, is Psycho in the Dodge Charger. He will come back. He was tied with Cassius Stark in the first round. He had enough points to move on, and we are going to do a 4-car, 8-lap final for you right here in this video. Let's go ahead and race 1. We have Cassius Stark on the inside close to us, Bay City Daryl on the far side, Psycho behind him, and Big Al in that Ford GT40. All right, we have Cassius Stark with an early lead, but Bay City Daryl's giving me a run for his money. Bay City Daryl gets a bump by the Charger over the jump, and Big Al almost pulls a Bay City Bomber. I'm not really sure if that's the official name. That's the first one that came to mind. But that was not a Bay City Bomber. No one can beat the Bay City Bomber. If you know what I'm talking about, go back to the other video that Bay City Daryl is in and watch him jump over a car in midair on that jump. All right, let's slow that down for you. A Charger, after giving Daryl a bump, flips upside down. Big Al is underneath Daryl. Daryl's pushing Cassius Stark into the turn. What happens? Cassius Stark spins out. Big Al gives Daryl a boost, and Daryl takes the win, followed by Big Al. And fortunately, Cassius Stark did roll backwards across the finish line. We can't say the same for Psycho. He did not finish. All right, Bay City Daryl out front, but Psycho in the inside lane. Psycho taking an early lead down into that dip and over the jump. Big Al hits him from the back, giving him a little boost. Will Psycho be able to hold on to the win? Big Al right behind. Big Al pushing. Bay City Daryl pushing now. Big Al on the outside passes. Psycho rolling around backwards, and Bay City Daryl and Cassius Stark get tied up, and oh no, they don't make it across the finish line. Let's watch that again. Slow it down for you. There's Big Al taking the win. Psycho watching the catastrophe that happened, a double DNF as he rolled across the finish line backwards. You got 7 points for Big Al. He's taking an early lead, followed by Daryl, Psycho, and Cassius Stark. Psycho on the inside close lane, Big Al in the far lane. We know that far lane does have a slight advantage for whatever reason. They're faster through that first 180 than the second 180. Big Al does come out in front, but Psycho tries to take the inside there, and oh no, Cassius Stark hits and rolls over, and Bay City Daryl passes Psycho, but Big Al is off to the races. He is down there across the finish line taking 4 points and the win in race number, whatever race this is, I think 3. Let's watch that again for you here. Cassius Stark jumping huge, taking a nosedive, popping over, rolling over. He will not finish this race, unfortunately. Big Al taking the win and further pulling ahead of the pack with 11 points, followed by Bay City Daryl, Psycho with 5, and Cassius Stark with 2. This is Cassius Stark chance. We'll call that outside position the pole position because it does have a slight advantage. But Big Al is fast in that 4GT40 and hits the jump first, hits the post first, hits off of Cassius Stark, and Bay City Daryl comes out of the wreckage. And I don't see anybody else behind him. Will Bay City Daryl be the only one to finish this race in black and blue? That's Bay City Daryl coming across the finish line, and somehow Big Al breaks free and gets 3 points in this race. And let's slow it down for you. Big Al hits off that post, rolls over, and gets reincarnated and is back on his wheels and somehow makes it past a Psycho that is on his roof and a Cassius Stark that's on his roof. That is impressive. Putting some more points on the board and ahead of Bay City Daryl by 3 points. Cassius Stark and Psycho are maybe out of it by points. I'm not sure. I haven't had a calculator today. All right, Psycho on the inside lane, Bay City Daryl on the outside. Bay City Daryl getting pushed by Big Al. Those two are the fastest on the track right now. Big Al trying to jump over top of Daryl, and he flips out. Daryl is off to the races and will take the victory as long as he doesn't blow it. Daryl in first, Psycho in second, in reverse. That's his signature, I guess. And nobody else. That is very bad for Big Al. That might have just blown his contention at the championship of this tournament, but we shall see. There is still racing left, folks. 4 points for Daryl. He is now ahead of Big Al by 1 point. Those two are battling out. I think the other two are out by points. We have Big Al in the far lane. That is the faster lane. Daryl in the close lane. Daryl needs to stop Big Al and not let him take the win, but Big Al is out front in the dip. He lands the jump clean and starts to pull away from Daryl, and then everybody else piles into that turn behind Big Al. Big Al spins out, and Daryl pushed by on the outside, takes it down for 4 more points, and Cassius Stark takes 2 or 3 points for second place. And folks, unfortunately, we don't see anybody else coming down to the finish line. That is unfortunate for Big Al. Let's watch that again for you. Big Al out in front. He seems like he is going to take this one with ease as Daryl checks sideways, but Big Al hits the turn, leaving a gap for Daryl to squeeze by. Cassius Stark squeezes by, and folks, there you have it. 19 points for Daryl, 14 for Big Al. Big Al up front this time, folks. He should finish in front of Daryl if he can hold him off. Those two are fast, but we have Cassius Stark putting up a fight on the inside. Big Al over and into the pole again. Big Al flips over. Big Al is absolutely blowing this. Cassius Stark is getting pushed down the track by Daryl and Psycho. How will they finish? We have Cassius Stark who breaks away. Where's Daryl and Psycho? We see no Daryl and no Psycho and no Big Al, folks. That is a 3-car DNF here in race number 7. It's going to go into a final race right after we watch this replay. Big Al, unfortunately, on his hood. Cassius Stark's trying to hold off Psycho, and Daryl does spin around sideways, breaks free, and then watch this. Psycho decides to turn a dirty move and cut off Daryl, and he does not finish. According to points, folks, 14 plus 4 is 18. If Big Al wins and Daryl DNFs, Daryl is still the champion of the lukewarm Tamale. Congratulations, Bay City Daryl. You have built one amazing car, and let's watch you go down the track one more time as you fly by Big Al there. No points needed there, but you put some more on the board, and he's pushing on Cassius Stark and Psycho as they cross the finish line. And Bay City Daryl again will take the championship in the lukewarm tournament. Congratulations, Bay City Daryl. And thanks to all the builders who sent these cars into the Hot Tamale tournament over a year ago, and these were alternates and they didn't get the race, and now was their time to race. And thank you again to all our subscribers and friends and family who follow along, like and comment, subscribe, and turn that bell notifications on. That's how we keep doing this. Thanks so much, and see you in the next one.